Welcome to Positive Action Ministry, where everything we do is positive. Today we will review Nehemiah chapter 2 with some questions in the back. Thank you for participating with us. My name is Jessie Tobal, and I'm going to start off by asking the group here, does anybody want to say a couple of things maybe they remember from Nehemiah 1, just in general, before we go into Nehemiah 2, because it is a story, so you kind of have to know what happened before a little bit. Anybody? Anything? ¿Alguien recuerda algo que pasó en Nehemiah 1?
Well, mainly the one thing that I know from Nehemiah is a prayer, right? And Nehemiah, right?
He did pray in there.
I remember that he was the cupbearer.
Yeah, he was the cupbearer. Remember that? Él era el que probaba el vino, sí. So, una de las cosas es que él estaba triste. He was sad because they came to tell him.
Try pressing the screen like with the clicker first.
Okay, and he did pray. Good, Ralph. También oró because and he showed some patience because he didn't go running to go help right away. También enseñó un poco de paciencia. También él sintió tristeza por lo que estaba pasando en Jerusalén. He felt empathy for the people left in Jerusalem, and he was determined to do something about it. Él quería hacer algo. Y entonces, what happened is that his brother came, remember, vino el hermano, told him that Jerusalem had no walls and no gates, y le dijo que no había paredes ni puertas en Jerusalén, y que la gente estaban sufriendo y que tenían miedo. And he remembered the things in the Bible about how you need to be repentant. Y él se recordó en la Biblia que decía que uno tiene que arrepentirse. And so he was repentant, and he prayed, and he came up with this next part, which is a plan. And like you said, he was the cupbearer, like como dijo Rafael, que él era el que probador de vino para el rey, who was the most powerful person in the world at that time, quien era la persona más importante del mundo en ese tiempo. So in Nehemiah, we see that he waited 4 months before this happened. So in Nehemiah 1, it starts with a date, and now it starts with a date again, and it's about 4 months have passed. Han pasado 4 meses de Nehemiah 1. It says that he was afraid. Why was he so afraid? ¿Por qué tuvo miedo, Brando?
He was asking for time off as the cupbearer to fix his lamp.
Él iba a preguntarle, él dijo por tiempo libre al rey. So at that time, subjects who were sad were usually executed. En la historia dice que si uno está triste, lo podían matar, because it was like a reflection. If you're sad, that means I'm not a good king, because everybody should be happy I'm the king. And so I learned that a little bit. And also there was an edict there that he went against because of that. ¿Cómo Nehemiah conquistó ese miedo? How did he conquer that fear? Hannah.
Didn't he pray before going to ask?
Él dijo que él fue a orar. Very good. And he took advantage of the opportunity. Él estaba listo para aprovechar la oportunidad. He was prepared with a plan. ¿Cómo? ¿Cómo él estaba preparado con un plan? Anybody? Brandon?
He asked the king to get letters in order for equipment and protection to get there.
Él sabía lo que le quería pedir de una vez al rey. Miguel, si quiere participar, no lo veo, so me avisa. He humbly asked, he said, oh, great king, first,
Yeah.
He did that. And like Brandon said, pidió cartas, como dijo Brando. He also asked for lumber, right, or timber.
Yes.
También pidió eso. Of course, in the letter from the king, that had a lot of power. And ya tenía 4 meses para preparación. We already know that he had 4 months to think about this. So in real life, we need to implement that, right? You wait for the right time and you have ready, because the opportunities, like Eminem said, comes once in a lifetime. All right. So 4 months of preparation, 4 meses de preparación. And then, of course, we see the enemy. So in here, the enemies start lurking when he puts his plan into action, right? The enemies don't, when he's thinking about it, Oh, this is the next slide, sorry. So the enemies, when he was just thinking about it in his heart, when he was visioning what he's going to say, when he was still praying about it and planning, they weren't there. They only came out when he started doing something. So los enemigos a veces no te atacan cuando todavía lo que tú tienes planeado está en tu corazón, en tus oraciones, pero de una vez que tú empiezas a hacer algo, a veces aparece gente con enemigas. All right, so just so you know, from where he was in Iran, it takes about 4 months to get to Jerusalem. El viaje coge como 4 meses, 800 millas en ese tiempo, para ir en Susa a Jerusalén. When he got there, he rested for 3 days, and they say he was surveying. Dice que él descansó 3 días y estaba. ¿Por qué salió de noche? ¿Por qué salió de noche esas 3 noches? Anybody? René?
So that he can see the world in peace. You know, there's not so much distraction, things like that.
Yeah, and usually if you don't want nobody to see you too, right? Él no quería como que la gente se enterara lo que estaba haciendo. He wanted to see, like René said, what's going on, and make an assessment. And he wanted to know, is this really as bad as they told me? Él quiere estar seguro qué es lo que tiene que hacer, okay? The new walls would need to be about 3 to 4 feet thick and about 15 to 20 feet high and more than a mile long. So necesita mucho que hacer con las paredes. So he got the whole group to agree, well, except the enemies, right? How did he convince them? ¿Cómo él convenció el grupo para que vayan a ayudarle a hacer la pared? Como más o menos ¿qué hizo? Brandon?
He promised that Jerusalem will be better than ever.
He went to talk to them good, que Jerusalén iba a ser mejor que antes, yep. And he did what leaders do a lot of times. He said, we are in trouble. The who, right? Él dijo como que ellos son una sola persona. Then why? Because it's good for our spiritual perspectives. And he also gave a purpose, un propósito. They will no longer be in disgrace, and they will get rid of the fear, shame, poverty, and security. This is more than just a real wall. There's a spiritual wall that needs to be completed. Okay. And he also mentioned that the pagans saw the walls of destruction was like a sign of God abandoning his people. So they start working right away. Yeah, they said, okay, está bien. That was it. They went right away. So they tried to intimidate him. The 3 enemies were named Tobiah, Sanballat, and Geshem. And Nehemiah, how did Nehemiah respond where they tried to intimidate him?
Well, he actually said, he actually talked to them about God, you know. He actually pretty much didn't make it about him. He actually told them that the God in heaven will give them success. You know,
exactly.
Motivate them.
Yes. He said, this is bigger than me. This has to do with God. And he didn't really pay much mind to them. He didn't like entertain them too much. He said, that's it. This is it. Okay. So some of the lessons learned is you have to seize opportunities and be ready, be courageous, have prayer, planning, make allowance for opposition. You know, there's going to be some stumbling blocks, trust in God, and God created you to make a difference. You have something, Rene?
Yeah, something that impacted me was that he told the Arab, Geshem, you don't have inheritance in this place. He told him that. And he brought me to the division of today in Israel and Palestine, that's one of the lines that they use sometimes, that God gave that to them as inheritance.
If I were you guys, I'd pay a little bit attention to this slide. I know it's a lot, but just maybe think about it a little bit. I found it very interesting. There was some gates. I started learning more about the gates of Israel, and we'll see a picture later of them. Hay muchas puertas en Israel. Most of them are named by what they were used for. So, por ejemplo, había el gate of the dung, number 4. So the dung, if you know what that is, that's poop. So that's where they will bring out the poop of the animals. They used that door there, okay? There was the water. Of course, they bring the water in there. Also, the fish gate near the fish market. The sheep had to do with the sheep market, of course. The historical old gates. there was a fountain gate, east gate, which represents the future. Había una puerta para el este, había mucha puerta del valle, que era la parte oeste de la ciudad. Entonces, había muchas puertas, and even throughout the Bible, even in the New Testament, you'll see mentions about gates. Okay, we're going to start our test now. Abel, how many times was Nehemiah sat in front of the king?
In this chapter,
Yes.
he was sat in front of the king once.
Very good. All right. Only once. Miguel, ¿cómo se sintió Nehemiah ¿qué sintió Nehemiah cuando el rey le preguntó por qué estás triste? Miguel, ¿qué sintió él?
Está en mute, papi.
¿Cómo?
No, he's muted. Hold on. He's talking to himself.
Él sintió miedo porque su pueblo estaba enfermo. Su pueblo estaba triste y el cementerio donde estaban sus padres estaba en Jerusalén, donde Jerusalén se había quemado y las puertas estaban ardiendo todavía.
Oh,
Él
wow.
sintió miedo.
Yep, muy bien. He went on even saying not only he mentioned that he was fearful, but he was also sad because where his ancestors were buried was in ruins. Hannah, what was the first thing Nehemiah did when the king asked him, what do you want? ¿Qué fue lo primero que hizo Nehemías cuando el rey le dijo, ¿qué es lo que tú quieres?
Well, first he said, if it pleases you, like started talking about that, and then he asked.
Jonathan,
Praise the king.
¿qué es lo primero que hizo? What was the first thing he did?
Pray.
You lose a point.
Whoa!
-1.
I was raising my.
No, we're going in order. All right, Jonathan. Who was sitting next to the king when he considered Nehemiah's request?
The queen.
Very good.
Is that King Esther? Queen Esther?
No, that's her stepson, Xerxes. All right, Jim. What did the king ask Nehemiah when asked for permission to go to, what two questions did the king ask Nehemiah when he asked to go to Judah? That's a hard one a little bit. If you give me one of the things, just give me one.
Is there phone a friend?
No phone a friend. How about you, Brandon?
How long you gonna be out there?
Very good.
And maybe the other one was.
How long before you come back? Very good, Baba.
Not the
That
same
was
thing.
a hard one.
Um,
Kind of, yeah, that's why.
Oh, okay. That's
All right.
that was-
We're skipping Eddie because he got in trouble. What two items did he ask for?
Because he.
Ned, what two items did
He asked for letters.
he asked for letters and what else?
He got for letters to get the timbers and to get the protection.
Very good.
God. And I wanted to
Okay.
say, people don't understand that this guy has one of the most important positions. He was supposed to taste the food before he eats it, so that he doesn't get poisoned.
Did you ever feel nervous at your job for calling a sick day? Imagine how nervous this guy is.
Okay, Ralph. So he asked for letters and for timber, but the king gave him that. Plus he gave him extra. What else did he give him extra?
Horses.
Very good.
Oh,
Army officers and cavalry.
That's right.
that's-
All right, we're doing good here. All right, Nina, you ready? Name at least 3 of the places that Nehemiah passed by at the nighttime.
That's hard.
You know how he passed? If you name one, I'll be okay. That he was in Jerusalem, but he said he passed this, he passed that, he passed this. No? Okay. Back to Abel. Any of the places he passed? 5 seconds. Miguel, dime uno de los sitios que Nehemiah pasó en la noche. Dice que pasó por aquí, pasó por allá, dio la vuelta por aquí, volvió por allá.
Él pasó por la madera que le pidió carta al rey para que le diera, la autorizara a pasar por ahí y los enemigos no lo atacaran.
No, en esta parte él ya está en Jerusalén. He's already in Jerusalem. Hannah?
Dung gate.
Very good. Hannah got Dung Gate is
Yeah,
one of the
that's my-
places. La Puerta de Dung.
It's a nephew are gonna be very smart.
All right, so aquí está el mapa that I was telling you. This is the map of a little bit of Jerusalem. So we have in this chapter, it says he passed the Valley Gate, the Jackal Gate, the Dung Gate, the Fountain Gate, and the King's Pool. Pero, again, pay attention for the final test, probably. These are other places that exist. So we have the Old Gate, the Fish Gate, the Sheep Gate, Inspection Gate, East Gate, Horse Gate, Water Gate, Fountain Gate, Dung Gate, and the Valley Gate. Recuérdense en estos nombres. Now, when me and Eddie went to Jerusalem, it's interesting because you feel like it's going to be like the size of Patterson, and it's like the size of a football field. It's not big at all. So a lot of these,
Wow.
yeah, it's right, honey. It's like, well, at that time you have to have walls in your city, right? Because there's so much fighting between people and so forth. You want to be protected, so it's hard to make a huge giant city with so much gate.
This Jerusalem is as big as a football field.
I feel like that was about the size, right? Like a football stadium.
Mama don't have no idea what you're talking
But-
about.
but-
Baseball. When we went in the gate and the Wailing Wall and all that, that was not big.
Maybe, but when we were looking at the pine tree, that's part of Jerusalem too.
Oh, but I mean, inside the city gates is small. Oh, I mean,
the old Jerusalem.
the old Jerusalem, correct.
Jerusalem today is
Oh,
like
yeah,
this
yeah.
side Paris, right?
Correct.
Today is
I'm
like
sure it's really big. Yeah, I'm talking about within the city gates.
Yeah.
Correct. You're right, Eddie. It's small. To me, it was small.
All Jerusalem, according to what I just looked real quick, is about 0.9 square, about 1 square kilometer. So
See?
it is
Yeah,
correct.
it's very small. Yeah.
Yeah, the old.
All right, Jonathan, who were the three enemies? If you could just name one.
Tobiah.
Very good, Tobiah.
Because I was
Sanballat and Geshem.
Sanballat is the next question.
Jim, who does Nehemiah say will give them success when the enemies attack him? He said.
That's a given.
You want to take a wild guess?
Hashem.
Otra vez, you're going to lose another point?
You're taking away a point from me if you don't answer. That's why I don't like it.
All right, Brandon, go ahead. God, correct. The God of heaven, he actually said. Okay, so here we go. This next one is going to be fun part. Pay attention to the rule, okay? So I listed the 10 gates in the map,
Yeah.
okay? I'm gonna put a picture of each gate and you're gonna tell me, Rene's next, the name of the gate. I'm
And
not,
the position, too?
quiet.
Wow.
But he can, you have to do all 10. If you get one wrong, I'm not gonna say until you finish. So everybody pay attention. If you notice he got one wrong and you know the right 10, when it comes to you, you have the chance.
Okay.
Okay, all right? But there's pictures, it's super easy.
Okay.
Okay, Rene, ready?
Yes.
The 10 gates.
Sheep gate.
Quiet. Don't say he's right or wrong, because I'm not gonna tell you to the end.
Horse gate. Fish gate. Water gate. Fountain gate. The people gate. The dung gate. The water gate.
Shush.
The east gate. The investigation gate.
That is incorrect. Ready, Ralph? Go ahead, Ralph.
The poop gate.
What? Come on, Didi. Didi, move on that one. Jeez.
We're not gonna go through all of them round. I'm sorry. All right, ready?
No such thing as a wrong answer.
Horse gate, fish gate. The water gate. Tank. People. Who? Very good.
What do you say?
Valley.
Valley Gate.
Gate. Investigator. Okay.
All right, so we're gonna go. Who's next?
Me, me.
I don't know, you gotta
Okay,
make
go
a
ahead.
picture.
Go ahead, Abel.
Sheep gate. Horse gate. Fish gate. Water gate. Fountain gate. The old gate. Dawn gate. Valley gate. East gate. Inspection gate. That's it? Oh, I'm sorry, the sound went.
Instruction.
Wait, so which, the poop
Inspection.
one is the dung?
Oh,
gate?
It's called the dumb gate. Yeah.
The actual poop one.
All right, so it looks like we have a tie between Jonathan, Brandon, and Abel. Tenemos un tie. Bueno, yeah. All right, so we have to, actually, Abel, I have to give John and Brandon another chance because they didn't get the third time around.
No, of course, that's good.
So can I get, I just gonna have to make up a question because I didn't have,
You need your phone or something?
I know. Where on the map, Jonathan, was the Watergate?
Memorization.
Well, I said, don't see one.
Show them up.
It was like,
Where was it?
it was on the left side.
On the left bottom or like on the clock? What would you say?
The left top, like I don't know what clock, man. Like,
You're saying 10
the
o'clock?
fourth quadrant.
Between 9
That's
and
bottom right, I mean. Fourth quadrant, bottom right.
9 and 12.
Between 9 and 12. That's where you say the Watergate is?
No, he's wrong, it's 3 to 6.
You say it's 3 to 6?
Yes.
Yeah, he's right.
I was
Where is it?
correct.
3 to 6. So
Wow.
Brandon got that one. So Brandon and Abel have the tiebreaker.
I wanted the dung gate. It's easy to remember because it's on the bottom. What if he says I'm shutting this down? That's what I thought.
Okay, who could shout it out first wins? I got the question, Abel and Brandon. In the night, he passed 3 places. What kind of pool was it? What was the pool's name that he passed during the night? We mentioned that already. There was a place, he passed through the pool, Pool. Abel, Brandon, anyone?
Yeah.
Abel, no?
No, man.
Is it really the Watergate?
No, it's not there. It's not on this map. It's another thing.
Oh, the King's Pool?
The kids' pool. All right.
Do another
I
question.
said it first, what's the
No,
problem?
but wait a second, it was there.
People don't pay attention to details.
All right, Brandon, good job. I'm looking at the map, I'm not looking at the thing. All right, Brandon, you win, so where do you want your donation to go?
No.
No, both, we have equal opportunity. Our nation called Doctors Without Borders.
Doctors Without Borders, okay. Thank you, everybody.